Hey, Osladero. Um, my channel's doing something weird because it's not showing that people are in the room. Okay, now it's showing you. It wasn't showing anybody in the room yet. I hope nobody's been sitting in the room. Um, so I am not in Cebu right now, but I am flying to Cebu on Saturday. Given the total transit time, it'll actually be Monday when I get there. It's like 28 hours, but there's a time difference there. Roughly, what are they? They're 12 hours ahead of us. So as soon as you hop on the plane, you lose 12 hours. So yeah, Monday I will be in Cebu, and I got to tell you, I'm pretty excited. I was there last year. I'm going to be there again very shortly, and yeah, this time I'm going to do the Philippines differently because I didn't know what to expect last time, and I was just the pure tourist. I ran around like chicken with their head cut off. I saw all kinds of sights. But the problem with last time is I feel like I spent too much time on buses. Because I'd take a bus 4 hours to go, see something scenic. It's like, great, 4 hours up, 4 hours back. Basically, half my day I'd be on a bus traveling to see something. I'm not doing that this time. This time I'm staying local. I'm going to be in Cebu. I'm going to be in the areas immediately around Cebu. But if something takes more than an hour to get to, not doing it. Except for diving with the whale sharks. I'm doing that again, and I know that's a 3 hour bus ride, but that's one of those things that you can only do right in a couple of places, and the Philippines is one of them. So, yes, I will have all kinds of footage. And I'll say this, if you've got anything you're curious about Cebu, you let me know, and while I'm there, if I can shoot footage of it, I will shoot footage, and I will show you exactly what to expect in Cebu. There's Ayala Mall. I did a little bit on that a year ago, but I didn't really know how to shoot. I just started really posting YouTube videos. So my videos were crap back then. I actually have a better sense for how to shoot videos now, so I'll cover Ayala Mall, SM City, IT Park, Sugbo, Mercado. I'm going to cover all of that. This vacation is going to be amazing. Let me see. Osladero asks, I heard about the whale dive. Is it expensive? In short, nope. Whale shark diving is cheap. All right, let me say there are different ways you can do it. Now, my whale shark diving was expensive, but expensive, I got to add this up. Let me say, okay, so there's paying for like the actual excursion, taking the boat. You're on these canoes. They'll send out 10 canoes at a time. They'll have maybe like 10 people, 10 passengers on each canoe. And I paid for me and I paid for the woman I was with. It was like $10 each for the canoe out and back. So that's $20. I had a guy do a GoPro to film me while I was doing all my dives. All of the GoPro stuff was $15. So that's 10, 20, $35. But they shot everything, they downloaded it all to my phone. I mean, the whole thing. And he did a good job with the shoot. So that's $35. And I tipped this woman who was like my tour guide. Basically, I stayed in a hotel the night before, and the woman who manages the hotel also, everybody who's staying on that street is there because they want to see the whale sharks. So she walked up with us, and she managed everything. Like basically, I handed her the $20. She stood in line. She got me my tickets. All the stuff that we would have to do. Normally, it's like you stand in line, you watch this video on safety, you do all this stuff. It might be like 2 hours worth of prep stuff you have to do. She took care of all of that. So all I did is I hung back on a bench, and the woman I was with, Lynn, went down to the water and was just kind of waiting around in the water. See, I was like, let's just round up and call it $40 for everything. And that was boats, GoPro, everything I wanted, tips, everything. And I was a big spender with tips. I mean, I was giving people $2 tips, which, by Philippine standards, if you tip $2, you're a big spender. Most people will tip like $1. So $2 is a big deal. Literally, when I handed my tour guide the $2 tip, she looked at me like, "Wow, what are you doing here?" Yeah, yeah. So I don't know what's going on with my channel. It's not showing me how many people are in. We'll just have to figure out what's going on. YouTube is doing some weird stuff today. So, yeah, I tip in the Philippines. I tip for certain things. Somebody does service. I mean, this woman, she basically stood in all the lines and took care of all my paperwork. All I had to do was hang out, and that made her day. You said the tip is probably half her daily wage for the day. Yeah, she was a funny woman. Now this woman, now she owned a hotel, but that's not saying much. It's more like she and her husband managed this hotel, and I think her husband had bought the hotel, but then he passed away, and so she was stuck managing it, but she didn't really know anything about managing a hotel. But it was, a hotel that was close to where the whale shark diving is, so she just, she gets enough traffic because she's in the right location. Yeah, so she owns it because her husband passed away, but she doesn't really like. All she knows is she's in the right location. I don't think she makes a lot of money. I mean, when I was there with Lynn, I think we were the only guests that night. She probably gets all her guests on like the weekend, and that basically covers it. She wasn't making big bucks. I could tell just the way she was talking about everything. She wasn't making big money, but she's probably making ends meet. I don't think she was broke. But let's face it, I handed her a $2 tip. She looked at me like I was Daddy Warbucks, and she earned that tip. All the stuff she did, like I didn't realize where to go to talk to the GoPro people. I didn't know how everything worked. She just went, took care of everything. I just sat back, enjoyed my trip, dove with the whale sharks. And I'll tell you, in the Philippines, they don't have all these rules that you have in America, which is good and bad, but for me, it was good. So they looked at me and said, "Do you want to wear your life vest? You look like you can swim. All of you Americans can swim." I was like, "No, I don't want to wear a life vest. I can't dive under really well if I've got a life vest on." I'm like, "Take it off. Have fun. If you need it, you know where it is." That was great. I mean, I'm a decent swimmer, so I can swim around for half an hour without, really worrying about it. That was the highlight of the trip. And yeah, if anybody ever goes whale shark diving in Oslo in the Philippines, drop me a line. I can tell you the exact hotel you want to stay in. There's a hotel. They do like a breakfast in the morning. The breakfast was okay. There's a little restaurant that's around the corner, kind of down the street. That's a good place to go to. I can tell you the places to avoid. There were some people that had hotels out there, and I thought, this thing is a mosquito-infested nightmare. I'm not staying here. But there are a couple of good hotels. There's a decent restaurant, and as long as you kind of know what to do, yeah, that'll be a trip. But you got to get there early. Whale shark diving starts at like 6 in the morning. And if you get there late, I mean, whenever you get there, if you get there after 6, there's going to be a line. People get there like 3 o'clock in the morning and they just camp out. So you got to know there's going to be a line, and it only runs from like 6 until about noon, maybe 1. So you got that little window you got to target. How far is Oslo from Cebu? So the bus ride was like 3 hours, and I would strongly recommend just take the bus. Like taking a Grab, I don't know how much a Grab would cost for that long a trip. Probably not too much, but it's a straight shot. We got on a bus. I don't remember what day we went. I think we went on let's say I went there on a Friday night. So I was already at this, I had this motel room that was cheap. It was like $20 a night. So I just left all my stuff in the hotel. We caught this bus, and it was 3 hours to get there. But it was a straight shot. I mean, literally, you go in. There aren't a lot of distractions, so you just kind of hit it, and then they drop you off. And I didn't really know how everything worked, so it's like, okay, I just rode 3 hours. It was the evening, and they said, oh no, the whale shark diving's done for the day. We do that in the morning up until like early afternoon. So we got this room, and the room was like $20. Maybe it was $22, which was actually kind of expensive for the Philippines, I thought. But I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I'm here. I'm not going all the way back home. Um, we stayed in this hotel overnight. Uh, Make sure you got have your phone, because the hotel didn't have a TV, but you got YouTube, so you can do stuff. And then in the morning we got up. I just got up when I got up. I wasn't going to race to get up early, but we got out there. Had to wait about 2 hours because you got the line and all of the prep. But then after that, maybe it was a little bit longer. Maybe it was like 2.5, close to 3 actually, when I think about it. And yeah, and then we were there. You'll ride out on these canoes, and it gets exciting because once you get, you got your numbers, and you can kind of tell when you're starting to get close. And then they're like, okay, let's get those life vests on. And you're like, oh, it's happening. And you see everybody who's coming back, and they're all excited about what they just saw. So it really starts to get you excited as you think, hey, I'm about to do this for myself. The canoes you ride out, you got two groups. So there's a group that's going out to dive with the whale sharks, and then there's a group that's like scuba divers, and they go out with these cameras. There were these guys from Vietnam, a lot of them. I mean, there might have been 40 people, and they had lines, and they would just take their scuba diving gear and their cameras, and they would go and they would kind of swim down to the bottom, and then they just sat on the bottom shooting footage of the whale shark diving. So they had all the dives, they had all the divers. They probably got some amazing footage. I mean, I would imagine that if you're looking at really good ocean footage of whale shark diving, it's probably from guys who were doing those camera angles, because those are perfect angles to shoot from. But yeah, you'll get on the canoe, paddling the canoe out. It's like 5 minutes. I mean, it doesn't take that long to go 100 yards, and then the canoes, basically you got all these canoes in a semicircle, and you have these two boats that are just tossing tuna out. That's how you get the whale sharks. They just toss tuna out, and the whale sharks swim around to eat it. So they lead the whale sharks, back and forth through the crowd, so you can kind of predict where they're going to be. And then you dive out and you swim around, and nobody cares. You can basically run around and get yourself into trouble if you can't swim. And I had a blast. I will say whale sharks move a lot. They move really fast versus your expectations. I mean, these things are big. You don't really see them, whipping their tails back and forth or moving their fins, but they're moving fast. And I'm saying that because at one point, this was like the one awkward moment in my whale shark dive, I dove under. Now, because I wanted to get a real good look at this whale shark. And I mean, I'm like 10 feet underwater, and I'm watching this whale shark that's coming in. And it's like, wow, this thing is 30 feet long, and I'm looking at it like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And so, then I swam out because I was going to come up for air, but the other whale shark was coming in. I thought, oh shoot, second whale shark. The other whale shark was like 50 yards away, and all of a sudden it's right here really fast. That caught me off guard. But, I can swim, so I just had to swim like further across before I could come up for air. It wasn't a big deal, but it did really help me to appreciate just how fast they are. And it was like, okay, and they're also really hard. They look like they'll be squishy like fish. They're hard, because one whale shark came under me. I was looking at one, and then it felt like I kicked a rock, and I looked under me, and there was another whale shark that had come under me. I didn't see it because they move so fast. So yeah, they're really hard. So Star Smoth, what's up, Star Smoth? Wait, you changed your name. You had something else before. Yo, what's up, man? I'm watching you. Oh, you're watching me from Japan. Now, you remember I said I want a Filipina, but the girls here look really good, man. Come to the sushi side. That thing would have eaten you as an appetizer. So, it's funny. All right, a lot of great ideas there. I have never visited Japan. I've flown through the airport in Japan, but I've never actually spent any time there. That's on my list. You're gonna have to tell me where you are in Japan because I'm curious to know what's going on. Japan is definitely on my list. I've spent time in Asia. I have never had a bad time when I've gone to Asia. I had a great time in Indonesia. I had an amazing, mind blowing time in the Philippines. When I go back Saturday, yeah, I expect nothing but the same. And it raises the bar. You start looking at your other vacations thinking, man, I didn't know what I was doing. This is vacation. All that other stuff I was doing was just wasting time. Um, Now, whale shark diving is actually pretty safe because, yeah, Oscillodora is saying they're filter feeders. Like they eat little small stuff. They're not taking chunks. They don't have shark teeth like sharks. They do have these big mouths, but yeah, you don't have to worry about a whale shark eating you. Like I would not swim with great whites. I see some people doing that. And I'm like, you're nuts. Animals that can eat you, you never know whether or not they will eat you. You know, everybody. I think everybody knows the story. There's like that one guy. He was, the bear expert. Always wanted to live out with the bears. Always said they won't eat him. And then one day a bear ate him. Well, you got to respect the wildlife and the fact that they aren't people and you don't really understand what they think. They're in a bad mood one day, you might be lynched. That's not the case with the whale shark. You can swim with the whale sharks and just kind of enjoy yourself. And there's also this thing that I didn't know last time. So you got the whale sharks. When you swim with them, you're going to be able to swim for like 30 minutes. That's, you get a 30-minute window because they're just, they got tons of people, so they're just cycling through. But once you do that and you come back, you might be excited and not want to leave. Well, there's a little island that's about a half a mile off the coast. And I didn't know this. It's, they basically rent out the island, so if people want to go to the island and kind of just spend the day there, you can. I don't know how much it costs, but I thought, oh, I didn't know about this. And I had plans for doing some more stuff that day, so I didn't get to enjoy the island. But I thought if I come back, I can whale shark dive, and then I can go enjoy the island and really make a whole day out of this. And then if I hop on, a 3-hour bus ride back, fine, it's all good. So this time around, I know better, and I can do that. And you also, figure you'll do the whale shark dive. Maybe you'll grab some lunch because I didn't really see any place to eat. It didn't look like the island had food. It just, it was just a place to kind of hang out on the beach, swim around, enjoy the day, being goofy. But then you'll come back, and you got like a 3-hour ride back. Now the way you get back is basically you just catch these buses. There are buses going. There's one road in and one road out, so you're just waiting for the buses to come through. Bus comes through. You hop on. You bring your girl with you. It's going to cost each of you like $3. I think it was $3. I think if you've got a Filipina with you, they charge you $2. And if you're by yourself, they charge you $3. So, Lynn was the woman who I was with. I always had her pay for stuff because she got the local cost. If I paid for stuff, they'd try to upcharge me. So yeah, you go out there, you're like, look, it's $3 for, $2, $3 for a bus ride back. It's 3 hours. It's pretty good. I can't say enough good things about the day I spent in Oslo diving with the whale sharks. That wasn't just a highlight of the trip. That was one of these life highlights. One of like top 10 moments all time. Yeah, diving with whale sharks. That is going to be one of my top 10 moments all time. There was nothing that compares to that. So if you want to do something different, you want to do something memorable, when you're in the Philippines, go to Oslo, dive with those whale sharks. You will never forget that experience. Let me see. Let me catch up on some chats. Star Sma says, I'm in Ibaraki, but I just got back from Tokyo. It's super nice. Okay, yeah, I've been through Tokyo's airport. I'm in Ibaraki. I don't know where Ibaraki is. I'll have to look at that. It's extremely hot, though, in Tokyo. It's been, 90 plus degrees for weeks. Interesting. Is it humid? I'd be curious about the humidity. If you visit Japan, you should check out Akihabara in Tokyo if you like anime and Kawagoe. if you like Edo period stuff. I don't do. I mean, I've seen some anime. I'm not a huge anime person. Edo period stuff. That's okay. So Kawagoe, if I'm pronouncing that right, that would be more my speed. Yeah, I do like the history of Japan, all that Tokugawa um, period, and just like I spent a lot of time. If I see like a documentary on Japan and the history and kind of all the conflicts, yeah, that stuff will fascinate me. It's like sign me up. I don't care how long it is. The longer the better. I'll consume all that stuff because I find it fascinating. When I was a little kid, first time I saw a samurai sword in a movie, I was blown away. Like, wow, look at this! Look at the mastery, man! This is amazing. I was just fascinated with Japanese culture ever since then. Um, Star Sloth, whale sharks are filter feeders. You mean like SpongeBob? Yeah. Whale sharks, now don't get me wrong, all right. You could have an accident where, a whale shark starts, is chomping at some tuna and tries to get your arm because you just got in the way, but you got to try really hard. You got to not be paying attention to get in the way like that. And I still don't, they don't have the sharp teeth, so you're not going to come out of that losing a limb. Basically, they are very easy to spot. They're very easy to avoid, but you do need to pay attention because they move a lot faster than you might expect. And sometimes, they'll come up on you a whole lot more quickly than you were expecting because you didn't think they were going to be able to move that fast. It's also funny. I think Jaws, in the movie Jaws, was supposed to be like a 30-foot long great white. Let me tell you, seeing these whale sharks, non-aggressive, filter feeders. If there was a great white shark that was 30 feet long, it wouldn't be dragging people under. If it bit you, you'd be dead. It's like, bam, you're bitten in half or you're swallowed whole. There is no kind of playing around with its food. You could not survive that. These things are way too big and way too strong. But diving in, seeing them, yeah, I got some shorts on my homepage where I was diving with the whale shark. So if you want to see what it's like, if you want to just kind of get a feel for it, take a look. And Star Sloth is saying, anyway, man, the prices here are ridiculously cheap. If you visit soon, you'll basically be rich, and girls love a rich man. Yes, indeed, Star Sloth. Okay, so tell me this. If you go out to dinner, like not a Western restaurant, if you go out to like a place that the tourists might want to go, and you want to get like a dinner and a beer, how much is that going to cost you in Japan? I'm curious about their cost. I don't really know. Like I know what things cost in the airport in Japan, but that's not really a good translation of what things would cost in the mainland. I can tell you what things cost in the Philippines, and I was actually looking at the conversion rate. The dollar's even stronger in the Philippines this year than it was last year, which means I can spend. I mean, it doesn't cost that much. It's like, wow, I can get even more for my money. Let me tell you, as far as the Philippines and Costco, to give you an example, now here's super expensive in the Philippines. Where I stayed last year, I would walk up the street every morning to, I was on one end of the block and I would walk to the other end of the block because there was this coffee shop. Now the coffee shop was kind of like Starbucks quality. It was kind of a high-end coffee shop for the Philippines. So none of the locals shop there. And I would go there with Lynn, and we get two coffees. I'd always get a pastry, and she'd get like rice. She'd get garlic rice and an egg over easy. She could eat that every single meal, and she'd be happy. She's in love with garlic rice and egg. It was crazy. But I'd get, my coffee, her coffee, and this is Starbucks caliber restaurant. My breakfast, her breakfast, and it would cost like $11. Now in the Philippines, that's insanely expensive. For me, I was like, look, it's $11. This would cost me maybe $20 if I was in the States, so I didn't care. But that was me spending big bucks. If I just went like to the convenience store around the corner and I got the same meal, it might cost $3. So your dollars go really far. When I go to the Philippines, I'll be in Sugbo Mercado a lot of evenings, probably almost all of my evenings. Sugbo Mercado, you got like 30 shops that you can eat in. Just, I mean, literally, you just walk around like, what do I feel like getting today? Do I want like a barbecue thing? Do I want a rice and something? Do I want hamburgers? You know, whatever you want, some shop is offering it, and you just kind of pick and choose. You walk around there, all right, a meal in Sugbo Mercado, like one entree is probably going to cost $3. So like I'm going to get mine, I'm going to get, like last year it was Lynn, presumably I'll have somebody else because Lynn is in Japan doing some work. But I'd get mine, I'd get the one I was with, and I'd get a beer. Two meals and a beer, like $7. And this is at like kind of a fancy place to eat for the evening where they've got live music and karaoke. Sugbo Mercado is a lot of fun. I mean, that place was amazing. The only thing I didn't like is they don't really have a cover over it. So if it's raining, you know, if you don't get a seat under a tent, you're going to get drenched. So I wouldn't go there on rainy nights. Some people didn't care. They would just sit out in the rain. That's not me, but yeah, there's a lot to do. There's a lot of fun to be had. And it doesn't cost you much money at all to enjoy yourself in the Philippines. Eat like a king, travel like a king. You would be hard pressed to spend $20 a day in the Philippines. And that's with all your grabs, that's with all your food, that's with everything. Unless you try to spend money. That's how good it is over there. Let me see. So Star Smog. I just realized you're from Jersey. I'm from Jersey City. Jersey City. I'm in Hoboken, dude. We are neighbors, literally next door neighbors. I heard Central Jersey had a tornado sometime last week. If it did, that's news to me. But I will admit, last week I was kind of buried with some work because I'm going on vacation. So the last few days were me catching up on a whole lot of work because I was like, look, I'm going to be out for 2 weeks and I'm not going to be thinking about this place. So anybody needs anything, let me know now. You can get it now or you can get it like 2 weeks from now. So I have been out of the loop. However, I will look into that. I'm not sure. You're saying Central Jersey, so we're talking like Edison, something like that. Star Smog. That's going to be less than 20 for sure. You can get 2 great meals with drinks and everything for like $12. Yep. That's the kind of stuff I expect. And that's funny. That's $12. All right, in the Philippines, even that would be considered expensive. Star Smog, a Red Bull in the U.S. is like $4 or something. Over here, it's literally like $1.20 or something ridiculous. Like I don't even have to keep track of my finances because it's chump change. Yep, you. It's funny you mentioned that. I was drinking a lot of Red Stripes when I was over in the Philippines. I don't know why. It was just, when I looked at the things they had, I liked, Red Stripe kind of worked. And yeah, Red Stripe was like and this was like, I think a 16-ounce Red Stripe. It was like $1.20. So I would, every night that I went to Sugbo Mercado, I get, my meal, Lynn's meal, and I get myself a Red Stripe. Lynn doesn't drink. She would put her finger in my beer and take a taste of it, which was weird because she didn't like the taste. It was like, look, it's not going to change. The taste isn't going to change. But she would take a taste and she'd make a face. And then she didn't want any part of it. But she did that like every time. She just wanted to taste the beer. Yeah, it was like $1.20 for a beer. So I could literally just go in my pocket and sort of say, do I have any change? If I have any change, then I'm just going to use it. I only need cash a couple of places. If you're in Cebu, you don't really need cash. You can use your credit card for just about everything. If you start traveling out to the provinces, 80% of the time you can probably still use your credit card, but occasionally you need to use cash. It's very rare, and I say that because like I didn't want to have to deal with exchange rates. I didn't want to have to carry around a lot of Filipino pesos because at the end of your vacation, you're always stuck with this money. You're like, what do I do with these pesos? Um, when I went the last time, like I had some money left over. Maybe it was like I don't know, $12 and converted. I just gave it to Lynn, like, here, you take it. I don't feel like going to the bank and trying to change it and all this stuff. Like, enjoy it. But yeah, I really, really don't need cash in Cebu. So I'll just use my credit card. The only cash I'll need is I haven't figured out what hotel I'm going to be in yet. I've been looking at hotels, and there are some nice ones, and I'm starting to decide that I think I want to level up because there are some like cheap hotels that are good, but I don't think I want that this time. This time I want like the nicer hotel. I mean, I had a hotel that was good, but like they had a pool, like they did have a pool. Problem was they let all the local kids come swim in the pool during the day. So when I woke up in the morning, I couldn't use the pool because it was full of kids. In the evening, it was just the residents, so I could swim around all I wanted. But in the evening, I was usually out doing stuff. I want a place that's got a pool so I can swim in the morning. My ideal is, every morning I want to get up, I want to do a swim, start my day, then I want to go get coffee, get breakfast, kind of figure it out. That's the ideal plan. That's what all of my mornings should look like. A swim, breakfast, and then kind of figure out what am I going to tackle today. I'm looking for a place where I know that I got a guarantee that it can do that. I don't know about like some places offer free breakfast. It's like, I don't know if I care. I mean, I have to like think about that. I got a couple of days to think about it. It's like, do I want free breakfast? I don't want to pay for free breakfast if I'm not going to eat it. But then again, if I got free breakfast, like, well, I'm not that picky. I got rice and an egg and some coffee, pretty much good. So as long as I don't have crummy coffee, I'd be good. However, this is all part of the excitement. Let's look at this hotel. I think they're like off of the Ayala Mall, and they're not too pricey. And people who've sent reviews about this place have been raving about it. I mean, it had ratings that are off the charts. I'm like, okay, maybe this is the place. But I gotta see. I will definitely have a hotel figured out by tomorrow. Today I'm still kind of planning around, but again, all of this is part of the fun. When you build yourself a vacation and you start getting excited about it, you're going to the right place. Let me see. Star Small says Hoboken is amazing, but the parking is ridiculous. Nice to know you're a neighbor, though. We live in the best place in Jersey, just 15 to 20 minutes away from New York. Yeah, so you're Hoboken. All right. All right, so Hoboken. Right. If you live in Hoboken, you're doing one of two things. Either you're fighting for parking on the street every day, which could take you like 30 minutes to find a parking spot, and that might not even be close to where you live, or you do what I do. I have a spot in a parking lot. I tried to park on the street in Hoboken for a year when I first moved here. And I finally accepted that I didn't want to spend my life looking for parking. I mean, if I got a good parking spot in Hoboken and my friends called and said, hey, let's go do something, I'd be like, nah, man, I'm not moving my car. Nope, 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 nope. I got a good spot, and there is no way I'm about to move my car until I have to, because I know how hard it is to get a good spot. Now that I'm in a lot, like, I don't think about it. I just drive down. I walk 3 blocks to the parking lot, get my car, go where I need to go, and that's way better for me than otherwise. However, it is funny because I'm thinking about selling my car. I mean, with where I work now, I work in Manhattan, so I don't really need my car anymore. I mean, I still have it because I kind of like it, but if I'm being really honest, it's like, well, I hardly drive it anymore because I don't need to drive to work. I work from home. I'm paying for a parking lot. I'm paying for car insurance. Like, why? I got a car. 1 month, I didn't drive my car for a whole month. So I got to think about that. But yeah, if you're in Hoboken, parking's a nightmare. You just gotta know what you're getting into if you try to bring a car and park it here. And then Star Smart says, I'll tell you one thing though. I'm Japanese. I'm not even attracted to Asian girls, but the girls in Tokyo are different. First time I've been attracted. I didn't know you were Japanese. Okay. Wait, so you're Japanese and you're not attracted to Asian girls. Now that's funny. Where did you grow up? That's weird to me. So you're not attracted to Asian girls at all. Yeah, I'm curious about that. And why did you go to Tokyo if you're not attracted to Asian girls? Was it strict? Were you going there to see something specific? Is this work? Like, what kind of triggered Tokyo for you? I'm just bringing that up because usually if a guy's going that far on a vacation, part of what they're going for is, to see exotic women. Um, I'm not, not saying to be, a scallywag, anything like that, but to see exotic women, to see what it's like, how do other cultures receive me, seems to be part of it. So that part's interesting. I've seen, again, this is airport. I've seen women in Tokyo that blew me away. And they were just working at the airport, working in baggage claim or some everyday job. And you're thinking, wow, that woman is working baggage claims and she is drop dead gorgeous. She'd be a model in the States. And she's just a bag check girl here in Tokyo. In the Philippines, I brought this up in a different video. In the Philippines, you find supermodels and they think they're plain because they're slim, they're short, they got the long hair, the dark skin. All the women over there look like that, so they don't feel like they're special. But you get over there and you think, wow, slim, you got this, long hair, you're pleasant. You just don't see that every day. So when I'm in the Philippines, yeah, I literally just walk around thinking, I can't believe all the women around here look like this. This is crazy. And the guys there are really friendly. Now, it's funny, as the black man in the Philippines, I get received differently. I get a lot of, especially the young guys, they all want to walk up to me and say, hey, what's up, bro? They get so excited about having the opportunity to, say that to a black dude. What's up, bro? So it's kind of funny. I just know wherever I go, I'm going to get what's up, bro. From the young dudes who are there. There's just like that curiosity. But it's fun. You walk around and it feels like everybody's curious about you. That's a big part of why I really like going. Man, I don't feel like this anyplace else. Sure, you can go places where you feel like a standout, but this is like everywhere you go, you feel like a celebrity. Or at least everywhere I go, I feel like a celebrity. That is an experience that's hard to compare to anything if you've never felt it. So yeah, when I get out there, when I get to the Philippines, I'm just going to have a blast. I am just going to have a huge amount of fun traveling around and enjoying being different. Let me see. Star Smart, I tell you, let me see. Let me scroll down. I tell you one thing though. Yeah. Let me see. I'm not attracted because I'm afraid they will look like my mom. Oh man, you're afraid they'll look like your mom when you get older. That was wrong, man. And I'm visiting family with grandma. And I'm visiting family. My grandma is 98 now. That is terrible. Oh my gosh, you're afraid they're gonna look like your mom. You're gonna suffer from saying that, dude. I hear what you're saying, but yeah, you can't throw your mom under the bus like that. Come on, man. You gotta have a little more respect there. Now, you do bring up a good point. If I see a woman and I look at her mom and her mom is unappealing, I do kind of wonder. It was like, is this what you're gonna look like in 20 or 30 years? That absolutely is in the back of my mind. Like, how comfortable do I feel with this? I don't know. If you meet a woman and she's got a hot mom, can that make you feel a little bit better about her? Sure. This is where it looks like she's headed. If the mom doesn't look good, that could be where she's headed. And yeah, that can bother you. Um, but I don't know. I've seen look, there are a lot of Asian women in Hoboken. Um, I can't say they don't all age badly. I've seen plenty of older women who are still slim, um, still active, mobile, all of that. I've seen others who aren't, but yeah, it's. I hear what you're saying. Um, you'll have to let me know. Yeah, all right. You'll have to let me know how this turns out because you're in quite literally a country that's full of baddies. So I can't imagine that you're going to spend your whole time there and not find someone who you like. However, let me know. Let me know how that's going. Star Small. In Japan, they don't see any. They don't say anything to you. I'm a North. Let me see. I'm a North African, Italian, Japanese mix. And sometimes I get long stares, almost like they're trying to figure out if I'm Japanese or not. Okay, how tall are you? So I'm kind of getting an image in my head of I'm curious because like Italian, it's like which features do you get, which skin tone do you get, what height? But I kind of have I've got this idea in my head. Could be totally wrong. It's like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I would assume that if you're in Japan, you're going to have quite a time because you look different. Then again, it depends on what traits you inherited. You could look like you're from the Philippines. I don't know. But it is funny that you're there and you're going through that. One thing I'll say, though, about the Philippines, and part of the reason why I'm excited about it is the people in the Philippines are just really friendly. I mean, just like everywhere you go, just their culture is just friendly. Customer service reps, of course, they're going to be friendly. I mean, just people you meet on the street are just friendly and happy, engaging. Pretty much wherever you are, kind of feel like you can chit chat with people and get to know what's going on. Nobody has a problem with you. When I came, one of the first things I noticed when I came back from my trip to the Philippines last year was how that kind of sense of community vanished as soon as I got back to the States. I got back to the States, I'm walking down the street, everybody's in a hurry. Now, I live on the East Coast, so it's a little different. But everybody's in a hurry. Nobody talks to each other. Nobody's paying attention to what's going on around them. It's just zip, 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 getting from point A to point B. Everybody's on the hamster wheel. And that was one of those things where I thought, wow, the pace in the Philippines, that slowed down, relaxed pace, that was gone the second I touched down in the States. And I did kind of miss that. It's like, I was relaxed in the Philippines. You feel the tension coming back when you're in the States. Not to knock the States. I'm American. I love my country. But that's not to say that we can't learn from other cultures and some of the things that I feel like they're getting right. And that relaxation that the Philippines has, that just kind of happy sense of community that everybody seems to have, yeah, that was something that was noteworthy. Star Smog, 6 foot. I definitely look mostly Asian because I'm 50%. Oh, you're 50% Japanese. Okay, I wasn't sure when you got into everything. I wasn't sure of the mix. Well, if you're right off the bat, 6 feet tall. So I don't know the average height in Japan, but I'm assuming it's shorter than the average height in the States, which is 5'9". So you probably stand a lot taller than just about everybody everywhere you go. Now in the Philippines, the average height for guys is only like 5'5". I'm 5'11", so wherever I went, I was like the Jolly Green Giant. That was fun. Just the height alone, you're going to stand out. And then you're Western, so you're going to stand out. And then as black man, it's like, okay, I was standing out for all kinds of reasons. And that worked for me. It worked for me really well. It probably worked for you too. But you don't like Asian women, so I don't know. I think that the Philippines could change your mind. However, to each his own. I'm not I never had anything against Asian women. I didn't specifically look for Asian women. I wasn't opposed to them. I haven't dated. I've only dated one Asian woman in my life, um, and that was short-lived. Uh, but yeah, it was more when I got older. The thing that really started to appeal to me about Asian women, it's kind of funny, was their loyalty. Because after I got divorced, I was, I had to go through that whole process of figuring things out after my divorce. And I was, I'm a numbers guy. I was looking at statistics. I was just trying to understand things. Started looking at divorce rates and how often women file for divorce. And in particular, and I started looking at divorce by ethnic group. Black women were really high on filing for divorce, but the group that always popped up with strong numbers across their marriage statistics was Asian women. They were more likely to get married. They were more likely to stay married. They didn't file for divorce. It was like, wow. I started looking at those numbers and thought, okay, culturally, this is the most loyal group of women that's out there. Doesn't mean that the one you find is necessarily going to be, one of the 80%, but you know what? You got 80% shot as opposed to like a 20 to 30% shot. Well, that made an impression on me. Made me start looking at them a little bit more closely. And when I found out that you couldn't get divorced in the Philippines, I thought, wow, so here's a culture where they don't think like that to begin with. And having been there and understanding their culture, I thought, okay, I get it. I see why guys like the Philippines. If you're looking for a serious relationship and you're worried about getting involved with somebody in the West because you just don't feel like there's much loyalty, yeah, Philippines is Shangri-La. Like, what's not to like about it? Let me see. Star Smoth. The average height in Japan is pretty short. Yeah, only in the business districts in Tokyo you'll find a lot of 5, 10, 6-foot guys. I saw one Japanese guy who was like 6'5". I was shocked. 6'5", wow. Japanese. Now, tallest Asian I know is Yao Ming. I think he was like 7'1", but he's Chinese. Japanese, I don't know. 6'5" is tall no matter what culture you're from. 6'5" in Japan, that would be crazy. When I was in the Philippines, the tallest guys I saw a couple of guys who were like 6 foot, 6'1". That was rare. There'd be a couple, not many. And yeah, I could probably count them on one hand. Most of the places I went, I was the tallest guy there, which is fun. I'm tall. I work out. They were. I was just a big guy. I was like a jolly green giant, the jolly black giant when I was walking around in the Philippines, and I appreciated that. Hang on, let me see. I got it. Okay. Oh, I got a text. All right. Okay. We will have to resume this. I gotta tackle something. But yeah, I'm gonna be in the Philippines Monday. I'm flying out Saturday. I'm gonna be there for 2 weeks. If you want to know something about the Philippines, drop a message in the comment section. I'm happy to take footage of anything while I'm out there. If it's convenient, yeah, I'll shoot the footage. Because I like to help guys figure out whether the Philippines is a place they'd want to visit or not. I'm a big advocate, but you got to make that decision for yourself. So more to come, a lot more to come next week when I'm there, and yeah, we'll pick this back up.